Okay, can you folks see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so today is not necessarily you working on a creative journey, but me teaching you how to organize yourself when you are on that creative journey and things that you should be considering and thinking about whenever you're in the midst of saying, I want to do this project, you get really excited. I want to write a children's book. I want to write this memoir. And then there's all these other things involved besides just the writing and the publishing process that you need to consider. That then people later on say, oh my God, I didn't know about this. I didn't know that this could happen or whatnot. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, okay? So if you're passionate about a writing project or you're feeling overwhelmed about where to start, this workshop is designed to guide you through the essential steps to organize and bring your writing project to life. Whether you're working on a book, a play, a film, a podcast, a song, a speech, or an essay, this session is going to provide you with the tools and strategies that you need to turn your ideas into reality, okay? So first of all, whenever you're embarking on a project, what is it?
I've been
What are
waiting
you
for
name?
a long time.
Huh?
It's what I've been waiting for a long time. How do I get organized? Yes.
Okay. So think
You-
about it. What is your project, right? If you're working on a children's book, what are you naming your project? Choosing the right name for your project is crucial, and it sets the tone for the direction of your work. A well-chosen title can intrigue potential readers or viewers, give them an idea of what to expect, and reflect essence of your project. I've been working on anthologies for years. Dominican Writers has published about 12 anthologies, and I always come across authors that submit untitled work. Oh, this is untitled piece. No, it doesn't need a title. They try to convince me that it doesn't need a title. And then the piece goes, they want me to include the piece as untitled piece. No, there's no reason for you to have an untitled piece. There's your piece has a theme, it has a topic, it has keywords, it has a reasoning as to why you wrote that piece, it has specific lines and sentences that pop out. And those are the things that you should use to name your project, right? So look for the most, I guess, if you're writing a poem, look for the most salacious or attention-seeking um, sentence or line of that poem, and use that as your title, right? You could do that. So, the importance of a title is that a title is the first impression your audience will have. It should be memorable, right? Like I said, evocative and aligned with the content and tone of your project. Um, I see some people here in the waiting room. Consider naming, thinking, think about your project's genre, the themes, and target audience. Your title should hint at the core message or the journey your audience will undertake. Okay? So for the latecomers, because it's 1:09, I started on time today and I'm not going back. I will send you the videos. Okay, I'm making it a point of starting these workshops at 1 p.m. because I find it disrespectful that people come in at time and then I have to go back all the way to the beginning so that folks could catch up. I'm not doing that anymore. Okay. Everyone knows the time. Let's be respectful of the time, or you just miss a portion of the workshop. Okay, or you'll have to catch it on video. All right, folks? So we just went over naming your project. Next part is name your project. Examples. So for books, To Kill a Mockingbird, right? Harper Lee chose this title, which is so, it seeks attention, right? You read that title, To Kill a Mockingbird, and so many things go through your mind, right? And you think, is this book about birds? Right? And then you read the book and you're surprised, no, it has nothing to do with birds, right? but it reflects on the central theme and the setting of the book. Then you have 1984 by George Orwell that evokes a sense of time and dystopian future, right? You have films like The Inception that suggest the themes and dreams of a complex idea. You have The Godfather, which is straightforward, right? Directly referencing the central character and theme of power, right? So you also have podcasts. The title serial implies a series of interconnected stories, and the daily conveys focus on daily news and updates. So those titles for the podcast are straightforward and definitely make sense, right? Then we can talk about describing your project. Describing your project succinctly and effectively is essential for conveying its core essence and purpose. A clear and compelling description helps you articulate your vision, attract potential collaborators or supporters, and stay focused on your goal. Whenever you know that you have a project that you're working on, your description should be the first thing that you could work on. The title can be the last thing that you slap on that baby. Okay, after you finish that manuscript, you could work on putting a title on that. It doesn't need to be immediate, but you definitely need to know the description of your project because it's going to serve as the guideline, you know, towards the remainder of the work, if you understand, right? So your project description, here it is, serves as a comprehensive overview that will encapsulate the main idea, the themes, and the goal of your work. Okay, components of a good description include the type of project, its core message, and what you aim to achieve or convey. Okay, so questions that you should consider um, when you're working on this project, right? What is the project about? You need to be very clear about the main idea and the story. Okay, what are the key themes and messages? Identify the central concept or messages you want to communicate. What makes your project unique? Because guess what, guys? Your project may not be the only your I tell folks all the time that your idea is not unique. There are tons of people who have had the same idea as you, but the difference is how that idea is executed. Your brain is different than everybody else. Your vision on how you want to execute this project is going to be different from the next person. So you and I could have the same idea, but once that project is complete, it won't look the same. Okay, so I don't want you guys to harbor, oh my God, somebody stole my idea. Somebody has my, no, folks, do not stick around to that. Center yourself on your own project, on your idea, on your execution, on your vision. If you go on Amazon, you will also notice there are tons of books with the same book title, but they're about different things. Okay, so I don't want you to focus on that. Okay, focus on highlighting the distinctive elements that set your project apart from others. Focus on what you hope to achieve with this project. Outline your goals and the impact you hope to make with this project. Okay, so now I want folks to take 10 minutes writing your description. Pick a project, you're all writers. Is it an essay? Is it a film? Is it a play? Is it a book that you're working on? What is it that you're working on? Write a 3 to 5 sentence description of your project, focusing on capturing the essence and unique aspect. The more detailed you are, the better, because this is going to be part of your outline, part of your writing map, right? So let's do 10 minutes. Where's my timer? Um, and let's work on that, okay? Okay, time is up. Is anyone willing to share?
Yeah, I can take it.
Go ahead, Rosita.
Chiquilla is a memoir of days gone by, a reflection of one Colombian elder, laughter, love, and hope. In its pages, the tropical settings of a Colombian household comes alive. You will fall in love with Chiquilla, a nickname meaning little one.
Nice. See, that's a very the title calls attention. Thank you for sharing, Rosita.
The only problem is
Who wants to share?
they're gonna say Chiquilla.
Oh well, they could look it up and figure out how to pronounce it, just like we do with their words.
Okay, thanks.
Who's next? No one else has a project they're working on that they want to share the description? Or y'all afraid somebody's gonna steal your description? Jasmine, ya, se terminó el timer. Share what you got. One project, because I know you got a whole lot.
Yeah. Um.
We can't hear you, Jasmine.
Oh.
Your
Um.
volume is super low.
Oh wow. 1 second.
You're gonna have to yell.
Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to see speaker. Try to see the volume here. My audio settings. Oh. Are you able to hear me now? Are
Yes.
you Are you able to hear me now? Okay. Sorry, my volume wasn't too high. Okay, so I was just thinking, um, this is the cookbook that Chef Hannah Abreu and I have been working on. So this will just be really brief, but the title is El Conuco Sefardí, the Dominican Casher Kitchen, is an exploration of, I think we're gonna do probably like 80 recipes or so. 80 recipes of Dominican kosher and Dominican kosher dishes, traditional Dominican Sephardic kosher dishes, where we explore the history of the dish and where the ingredients and where the roots of and each where the roots of each dish.
Are
And
you reading what you wrote or are you explaining it to me?
I'm this is pretty much a description.
Okay.
This is how I explain everything.
Okay. So
So it's through the exploration of different holidays and customs.
you need to work on that because
Yeah.
it seems that it's all over the place. I mean, I get what you're trying to say, but um in in writing, you need to make it a little bit more cohesive. But I definitely love the title, El Conuco, ¿cómo es? El Conuco, um,
Sephardi,
Chefardie.
Sephardi, the Dominican Casher Kitchen.
Yes, totally catches attention.
And I
Love the
think
title.
it's a very important piece of work.
Yes, yeah, it is. It is. All right. Thank you, Jasmine. Who's next?
I
You're
would love
welcome.
I would love to get it. Yes, when it's done.
Oh, yes, absolutely, you guys, of course.
Of course, because you're all going to support and get yourself a copy.
Yes.
Absolutely. And have
Who's
one for
next?
the library.
Who's next? I'm gonna start calling you all blindly. Déjame ver. I thought Felix joined. What happened to him?
I'll
Um,
go. Can everybody hear me?
hi Mel. Yes.
I'm still working through the title, but for now is muchachita. It's something that I used to hate as a kid. Oye niña is so like, but I know I just thought it was appropriate for now. So it's life through the eyes of a first generation Dominican American transmasculine queer growing up in New York City. Um, this memoir allows readers to see the duality between her sexuality, spirituality, and religion, nationalism, exploring her sense and perception of walking the line of between two worlds, searching for her middle ground.
Nice. I would suggest a subtitle with that.
Okay.
Instead of just calling it muchachita, like what would be the next line that would define what the rest of the story is, right?
Okay.
Like a one-liner.
Yeah.
And guys, as always, use AI. You could just add what you have, these descriptions that you wrote, you could use it and ask AI to help you improve it. And you could add things as you go along and it will improve it. If you haven't used ChatGPT 4.0, es una maravilla because now it memorizes everything and you don't need to continuously repeat yourself throughout conversations, and it's just wonderful. So, for your writing, you can always write down these descriptions, share with ChatGPT, and ask it, say, hey, I'm working on this memoir. This is the title that I have. I need to come up with a strong attention seeking or evocative, subtitle. Share your description. Definitely share the description of what your book is, and then it's going to use that information to help you identify what the subtitle should be. Okay? And this works with any part of your project or whatnot that you're trying to figure out. You could just say to ChatGPT, let's brainstorm on this. I'm stuck on this idea. I'm confused, or I'm trying to figure this out and I don't know how it's going to work and whatnot. And it'll help you develop those ideas. Okay, so next part of this, thank you, Mel, for sharing. So intentions, folks, right? Why are you doing this? Is it to stroke your ego? Is it to educate a community? Is it to share with your family and friends? Understanding and clearly defining your intentions and goals is crucial for guiding your project success. Knowing why you are working on this project, um, and what you hope to achieve will help you stay motivated and focused, ensuring your work remains aligned with your vision. So some key points to keep in mind is your intentions clarify the deeper reasons behind your project, providing personal and emotional motivation, the importance of setting clear goals, which help you measure progress, stay on track, and achieve specific outcomes, right? And then here we have questions that you should consider. Why am I working on this? Reflect on your personal motivations and what drives you to pursue this project. What sense of fulfillment will you receive from this? Consider the emotional and intellectual rewards you expect. What is the intention behind it? Define the core messages or objectives of your project. What do you hope to communicate or achieve? Who is your target audience and why? Identify a specific group of people you aim to reach and explain why are they important to your project. What value or impact do you want to provide to this audience? Why does your project matter? Every story matters, but why does yours matter? Right? So let's take 5 minutes here again. Okay? And let's work on writing your personal statement. You're going to take 5 minutes to write down that personal statement that encapsulates your project's purpose. Focus on why this project is important to you and what you hope to achieve. And then take another 5 minutes describing your targeted audience. Think about who they are, what are their interests, and why you want to reach them, right? 2 to 3 specific measurable goals you want to achieve with your project. Consider both short-term and long-term objectives. Okay, so this one you're gonna have to put on your thinking cap and really get into it, right? And start now. All right, pencils down, folks. Who's sharing in this session? Somebody leave? Anyone? Did Mel leave? Gina, if you're speaking, I can't hear you.
Hello? I'm sorry, I'm trying to unmute myself.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I'm ready and I'm reading what I'm writing.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So it'll flow from personal statement to audience to short-term goal. I didn't have time for the long-term goal, but at least I did the short term. So
Okay,
I'll just read it through.
start with the personal statement.
Okay, which is short. This project is important to me because it is the exploration to my cultural heritage through our food tradition, ingredients, and customs. It is significant because many of these foods were considered risky to make, especially during times of oppression like the Inquisition and during the colonization of Western Amerindian lands. Many of these foods have evolved through history in Spain, Western and Northern Africa, and the use of Amerindian techniques and ingredients to inform and create the modern day Dominican Sephardic cuisine. Moreover, we feel that through the exploration of these recipes, our audience will appreciate our take on kosher foods that can also be consumed by vegetarians and vegans as well. In the short term, we would like to finish our cookbook proposal in preparation for literary representation. It was advised for us to have all outline of each chapter, a sample of at least 10 recipes, and this is our short-term goal at the moment is to finish all.
Do you identify your target audience?
The target audience would be adults who either
Yeah, you
they're
included
adults that what? I'm sorry?
you said vegetarians and vegans. That's your target audience.
Vegetarian people that eat vegetarian, vegan, and kosher, of course.
Right. But there's one more that I think it's worth mentioning, and that is environmentalists. You know, because it's in that movement that people are trying to stop to eating so much meat.
I think in food, I don't know what the vocabulary would be in food eaters, but I would say, I mean, vegan, vegetarian, people that are omnivore. I mean, I don't pescatarian. I don't know what the, but I know what you
Jasmine,
mean.
did you type down this information? Can you put it in the chat?
I wrote it down, yeah, in my notebook.
Oh, okay. I
So
wanted you to
so
write it down in the chat.
okay,
Um,
yeah, it's in a
so
notebook. I can transcribe it.
okay. Cookie, stop. Okay, folks. So when you're working on your personal statement, it's important that you include what your project title is, a brief overview, which is providing a concise introduction of what your project is about. Your personal motivation, explain what inspired you to undertake this project. Describe any personal experience or background that relate to the project. Define the central theme or messages you want to convey. Outline what you hope to achieve with this project, both personal and for your audience. Um, As for target audience, you have to identify who your target audience is, describe how you hope your project will affect or benefit this audience, and highlight what makes the project unique. Share your vision for the project's development and final form. Explain what success looks like to you. Mention specific milestones or achievement that will mark your progress, and so on. So these are all elements of a personal statement, which are also elements that you need when writing a book proposal, because your agent and editor will require all of this information, and
Right.
this is how you pitch them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very important to include all of these elements. So
Yes.
who is next in sharing? Lily, ¿tú estás ahí? You not sharing anything? Jennifer, you have nothing to share?
I can share.
Go on,
I
Jennifer.
can share. I just as a kind of preview, I joined this because I've been thinking of this project for years and I don't know where to start, or I actually these activities are the first time that I've given it this level of thought.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually been writing it down. So in terms of my personal statement, I wrote that it would be to honor my family and to, because I'm looking at like short stories and poems as well. So
Okay.
to honor my family, to tell our stories and share our traditions and our culture. And then I also put as my second part of my personal statement is to share my own story in terms of my spirituality and my journey, I would say, towards wholeness and truth. And I said that my intention was to educate readers on different paths or methods towards healing and wholeness. And then I had a hard time with the target audience because I just feel like it's something that I want to put out there, but I haven't given a lot of thought to who that audience is or what their interests are. Like I have to reflect upon more.
Okay. So some of the things that may help you figure out who your audience is you honing in on the themes and specific topics that you will be discussing in your book. What
Mhm.
are those? Because all these poems and short stories are going to have something in common. Saying healing and wholeness are too vague of words. What are you healing? Is it mental health? Is it healing your body? Is it heartbreak? Like what is it?
Okay.
What are you healing with this book? Right? So you want to be as specific as possible for identifying that.
Okay.
Okay. Jasmine, you done?
Almost, yes.
I want to show you all something. So that's why I say when you're writing your description, be as specific as possible. Do you have your description, Jennifer?
Um, my description. I thought that's what I shared.
No, you shared your personal statement. The
Okay.
previous activity was the description of your project.
Oh, I see. I wrote down themes, but I
Okay.
didn't. Yeah.
What are the themes?
The themes are loss, family, faith, identity, love, ego.
Okay. So when you write those words, I don't know what you're writing. I don't know if you're
Right.
writing a memoir. I don't know if you're working on an art book. I don't know if you're working on a children's book. I don't know if it's a collection of stories or a collection of poetry. All of that information should be within that description.
Okay.
So since you mentioned that it's a collection of short stories and poems, that should be part of your description.
Yep.
So the more information you have, the more clear you are on what your next step should be. Is there something specific that's holding you back from starting this project?
Um, I think it's fear,
Let it go,
honestly.
girl. Let it
I
go.
honestly just think it's fear and like not knowing how it will be received, or not even
Uh-uh.
that, but just
Girl. Because guess
facing
what? Not everybody
myself.
is gonna like it. Not
Yeah,
everybody is gonna love it. You're gonna have people who love it, who will cheer for it, who will support it, and then you're gonna have the haters and the people who won't care for it and won't bother reading it.
Right.
So it's it's like any product. This is your book, and yes, it's super personal. It's gonna be your baby. You putting all your blood, sweat, and tears, all your time and energy and your passion into this. But it's just like any product that you go out there and buy. Not everyone is gonna like the same vacuum,
right.
right? Not everyone is gonna like the same glass. People are looking for very different things in the books that they read. So don't focus on that, because no, not everyone is going to love your book. Okay? So if you have some feelings around rejection, that people might reject the book, work through them, because you
It's
are
gonna
going to
happen.
there is going to happen regardless. But those are not the people that you want to focus on. You want to focus on the readers who are going to purchase your book and who are going to enjoy your book. You're not focusing on the haters. We don't care about those people. They could go on about their business. You're going to focus on the people who are there to support your project.
Hmm.
Yep.
Okay? So you need to get on writing, write, finish that manuscript, and and go on to the next step of polishing it, of getting an editor that's going to help you make it look better, and then you deciding how you want to go about publishing this. All
Do
right.
you on the and this could be on the website. Do you have resources for putting together short stories?
Not putting together, but those things are very personal. People put short stories together around different ideas. Some people put them together around themes. Some people put them together in chronological order. Some people put them together. If your short story is about people, then folks have a way of what they want, how they want the book to flow. And that's totally up to you. There's no right way or wrong way for that.
Okay.
Okay. And also, once you get an editor, that's something that you work with your editor.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. The same for poetry. Some people put their poetry in chronological order. Some people don't care about that. So that is just a personal choice.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Jasmine, you done?
Yeah, yeah, it's in the chat.
Okay, so let's see, because I wanted to show you guys all um how you can use. Okay, where's my, let me stop sharing. Let me share my, okay. Where's the Zoom? I am going to share. Share. How come I can't see? Okay, here we go. Okay, can you see my chat GPT screen? Okay,
Yes.
we're gonna give the chat a role and say, hi, you are going to take on the role of a expert writing coach. I am working on a memoir and I need your help. And polishing my you gave me your personal statement, right? That's what it was, Jasmine?
Mm-hmm. Yes, for the cookbook.
Statement. I'm working on a cookbook. I need your help polishing my personal statement. Here is what I have so far. So you see, Jasmine, what it did?
Okay. Okay.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
um, what's missing from here is more information about the history that you're incorporating in this book, because half of this book is history and half of the book is recipes, right?
It's like intertwined, it's like interwoven.
Right, right.
I don't want to say it's a history because it's not, because they're trying to make it aim whatchamacallit, manuable for the everyday cook person. You
Okay.
know,
But
like
if you read this,
yeah.
if you read this, it is not understood that you have history as part of this book. You understand what I'm saying? Like you mentioned, this history spans, like you're in general, you're saying, yeah, the history spans from Spain and Western and North Africa, but you're not telling people that this book includes an exploration of Sephardic food in Dominican Republic.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, I need to explain it on top. I need to explicate.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's why you need to start with the book title, and then
Yep.
you need to be very specific on what this book is about, right? And your book is about Dominican Sephardic cuisine. Okay, so we
Yes.
could say that, right? The book
Yeah.
is about Dominican Sephardic cuisine, and I need to include more context about the that will history of the cuisine, right?
Yeah.
That will be included in this book.
Yeah.
So here's a revised version, right? So here you have the second paragraph where it states that the cookbook is going to delve into the fascinating history, tracing the evolution of these dishes from their origins to their modern interpretations. We explore how Sephardic Jews expelled from Spain carried their culinary traditions to the Caribbean, blending them with local ingredients and cooking methods to create distinctive Dominican Sephardic cuisine. This cuisine not only survived but thrived, adapting to new environments and preserving the essence of its heritage through centuries of Spain,
Yes.
right? Furthermore, by sharing these recipes, we aim to provide our audience with a deeper appreciation from our unique take on kosher foods, which can also be enjoyed by vegetarian and vegans. Our recipes highlights the adaptability and resilience of our culinary traditions. Showcasing these dishes can be both historically significant and relevant to the contemporary dietary preferences. Do you see the difference?
Yes.
So this is a much stronger personal statement about your book,
Ah,
right?
yes.
Whereas where your statement was a little bit vague because you know already what your book is about, but when it comes to putting it in writing, you need to make sure that You understand that you're sharing this information with someone who doesn't know anything about your project. So you want to make sure that you convey the message of what your book project is about, right? So here, if we say, help me identify the audience for this book. This is the audience for your book.
Oh my God. It's writing my proposal for me.
It's
Well, for
going to
me
help
and Chef
you.
Hannah.
It's going to help you write your proposal for you.
Yeah. Oh
But
my God.
this is why you need to be very clear and concise with your book description, right? Because if I didn't have what I asked you for, the personal statement, it wouldn't have been able to come up with this,
Right.
right? So the more information and description you have about your book, the better it's going to help you write your book proposal. So as you see here, it's telling you that your audience is food enthusiasts and home cooks, cultural
Right.
and culinary historians, Jewish community and kosher food seekers,
Yes.
Dominican and the Latin American diaspora, vegetarians and vegans, historians and academics, culinary professionals, travel and food bloggers, health conscious consumers, and cultural organizations and libraries.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, guys? So this is why you having a clear and concise book description or project description is super important. You see this, Jennifer? So
Yeah, this is great.
the more information you provide about your book, Jennifer, the better AI can assist you in putting together those ideas, right? So, you know, and again, measurable goals, that's all a personal choice. Everyone's goals are going to be different. Everyone's short-term and long-term goals are going to be different. I'm not even going to get into that, okay? So, let me stop sharing the
Thank you.
let me stop sharing the screen. And Jasmine, I will email you that info, okay? From the chat.
Thank you so much.
Okay. And then
Yeah,
here you
because Hannah and I've been working on and the literary agent that wants it advises that it should be around 50 pages or so, between 100 and between 50 to 150 pages or so. Our proposal around 50 pages to 150.
okay. What, that the book will be 150 pages?
The book proposal 50 pages or so, I think,
Why
at
does a book
least,
proposal need to be so long?
because it's a cookbook. Because we want pretty much all they pretty much want almost all the chapters already, a sample of recipes from each chapter. And we have about, like, usually most cookbooks are pretty thick. They're about
Okay.
be anything from 20 to
Right. So your
40
book
chapters.
proposal needs to include a cover letter, an overview, author's bio,
Yes.
a market analysis, right,
Yes.
of who your target audience is and the market potential for your book, a
Yes.
comprehensive analysis of
Yes.
the title, chapter outline, sample chapters, marketing.
Er,
Like I just asked the AI what your
Yeah.
proposal should include.
Yeah, it should be at least 50 pages, at least.
It says 15 to 50.
For a cookbook, according to the agent that wants it, who is pretty seminal in the cookbook world, she said to get 50
Okay.
at least.
All right, folks. So moving on, identifying the resources, right? So successfully completing your writing project requires careful planning and resourceful management. Identifying and securing the necessary resources may be time, money, equipment, or support, right? So proper resource planning helps prevent unexpected obstacles and keeps your project on track. Consider all the different types of resources you might need, including time, how much money, how many materials, how much support are you going to need, right? So these are things that you could consider, right? Are you going to need equipment and materials? What tools are you going to need? Are you going to need a computer, specific software, camera, props, costumes? How are you going to get these things? Are you going to purchase them, rent them, borrow them? Time. How much time are you dedicating to this project? Consider all phases, including planning, execution, and revision. Do you have a specific deadline? How will you schedule your time to meet this deadline? What is your budget for this project? Include all potential expenses, such as, again, equipment, materials, travel, marketing. How will you fund your project? Consider sources such as personal savings, grants, crowdfunding, or sponsorships. So these are all things. You do a budget outline on what you need, how much is that going to cost you, where are you going to get it, preparation. What kind of research do you need to conduct? Are there books, articles, or experts you need to consult? Do you need any training or workshops to enhance your skills? What resources are available to you? Who can provide emotional, technical, or logistical support from your network? Identify friends, family, mentors, or professional networks that can help you. How will you engage and maintain the support throughout the project, right? So here, 10 minutes for this activity. Well, let's do 5, right? 5 minutes for you to create a resource list for your specific project. Identify which resources are most critical and prioritize them. Draft a basic budget for your project, including estimated costs for each resource. Create a timeline for your project. Allocate time for each phase and set milestones to track your progress. Okay, so we're just gonna do 5 minutes for this.
A checklist.
Basically, yes. That are going to include all these items that I mentioned.
Angie, we can't hear you, hon. We heard the timer, but we didn't hear anything after the timer. I think everybody kept working because we didn't hear your voice.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
What did you not hear? Hello?
I didn't hear
And
anything. We were still going.
yeah, yeah, we were still going. I feel like I was looking down. I heard the timer, but since I didn't hear your voice, I didn't look up.
Do you all
So
hear me now?
yes.
Yes.
Okay. I was saying we're going to talk about the preparing emotionally for your project. I was giving you an example that eons ago, like 10 years ago, I took a spoken word performance workshop, and we were supposed to write a piece that we were going to perform on stage. I wrote this poem about my father, about my relationship with my father. And throughout the entire time that I'm writing, I feel nothing. I'm just going through the motions of writing and making sure that my piece includes everything, all the components, elements that it needs so that I could perform it on stage. The day arrived for me to perform it on stage, and I broke down on stage and I couldn't perform the piece. Because once I started reading it in front of people, my nerves got over me, and then just the whole what the poem was about took over, and I couldn't complete the performance. So that after that, I decided never again. Performing spoken word is not my thing. Do not ever ask me. I would never do that in my life. But that is an example of when you're working on a project that's very personal to you, and you're just going through the motions of making sure that your checklist is completed. And then once your project is out in the world, it's a totally different feeling. Okay? You're going to experience cold feet. You're going to experience nervousness. You're going to be in your head about, are people going to like this? Are people not going to like it? What are people going to say? Are people going to go on Goodreads and give it negative stars? Like, how are people going to receive this? Okay? The creative process can be emotionally challenging, involving moments of self-doubt, of vulnerability, and critical feedback. Preparing emotionally for these aspects is just as important as planning the logistical details. Understanding potential emotional challenges and developing strategies to manage them will help you maintain resilience and focus throughout your project. So key points are: emotional preparedness ensures you can handle setbacks, criticism, and the intense personal investments that comes with creative work. Anticipate feelings of self-doubt, fear of failure, vulnerability, and reactions to feedback. Okay, so questions that you should be asking yourself: what emotions may arise during this project? How will you handle feedback and criticism? What coping mechanisms will you use? Okay, so examples of emotional challenges is, like I mentioned before, self-doubt, fear of failure, vulnerability, criticism. Don't be too hard on yourself, folks, okay? These are all ways, we're not going to do this activity, but these are ways for you to write down, what are going to be your coping strategies? What's your emotional support plan? And how will you build resilience? Now, you might think I'm crazy, and you're like, whatever, it's just a book. To some people, it's not just a book. People are putting very personal things on the page. They're being very vulnerable and transparent about their lives. So they may experience an array of emotions. And these are the folks that need to develop coping strategies and emotional support plan and, figure out ways to build resilience so that those instances of negativity doesn't take over. Okay. So another aspect of your creative project is how do you plan on promoting and publicity for your project, right? Promoting and publicizing your your writing project is crucial for reaching your target audience and gaining recognition your work deserves. Effective promotion involves strategic planning, leveraging various platforms, and creating engaging content that attracts attention and encourages sharing. So, for example, for Jasmine Cookbook, I can say, let's, I'm not going to share the screen for this. Let's brainstorm ways in which I can promote this cookbook to my audience. Okay, and it's going to give a list. It says use social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, blog, email marketing, use a newsletter, create collaborative partnerships, do events like a cooking class, workshops, media outreach, go on podcasts and radio shows. So all these things you have to be researching when you're writing this book. You need to figure out where are these spaces, which are the podcasts. Go on Spotify, look up these podcasts. What are the podcasts that draw your attention and that may be a good fit for your book? Right? Do a book giveaway, do cross promotion with other cookbook authors, utilize your network, do community outreach. Like these are all ways for you to promote and publicize your book. A lot of these things can be free. Your community is not going to charge you for it, but if you reach out to, let's say, a professional network or a professional or a company that's pretty big, they may charge you for that. Cookie, hold on, okay? So, here is how will you ensure the world knows about your project? What platforms are you going to use? How will you create engaging content? How will you maintain and grow interest in your project? All these things you could work through with ChatGPT. Okay, you could ask it all these questions and it will let you know. Okay, here we have examples of promotion. Again, which is what I mentioned earlier, podcast interviews, newsletters, blogs, social media. And here you have an activity that you should do about planning your content and a list of places, cooking, of places that you will be promoting your book. Okay, so you could write all that down and don't just wing it, folks. I suggest that you do prepare for these things, that you do identify the network of people and the communities that you're going to reach out to. I have on my website under the writers tab, you go down to writing resources and there are marketing and promotional worksheets that are completely free for you to download that will help you begin working on these things. Okay. Here you have again, success looks different for everybody. Some people feel success is selling 5,000 books. Some people are satisfied with selling 50. That is all very personal. Okay. What you consider success may not be success for the next person. All right. So it's very important for you to have a clear definition of what success means to you and what the direction and motivation for your project is. Consider various dimensions of success, including personal fulfillment, the impact you're making on the audience who's reading your project, who's engaging with your project, and professional recognition, right? Here you have questions to consider. What does success look like? What milestones will bring you satisfaction? Okay. And these are other means that I mentioned earlier: personal fulfillment, audience impact, professional recognition. Okay. You don't need to do this activity on identifying success, but yes. Okay. Any question, comments, or concerns about this workshop?
Wow. It is content filled. It's wonderful. I think of it all together. There's so much to it.
Yes.
But you certainly sold me on to the idea of using Chat GPT.
I thought I sold you on that eons ago, Rosita.
No, not really. But
And I have shared that I need to update it now because ChatGPT has advanced so much since I've created that workshop on using AI, how writers can use AI to help them through their writing project. I have to update that workshop, but it's out there on our YouTube channel.
And Jasmine, she's gone. I mean, what a
Oh,
book.
she's there. She just got off film. She just got off the camera.
There you are. I want that book. I want to buy that book.
Probably gonna be another year or so.
Right.
Jennifer, any questions, comments?
No, I mean, I think that this was helpful in terms of giving structure to the project and kind of like a path or a map with how to start and how to move forward. So I think, yeah, this was great for me because I didn't know where to begin, and this kind of gives me some direction. So thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. Lily, you off camera. Did this help you at
Dímelo.
all?
It did. It did. I tengo que ser completely transparent. I was like, I came up, not I didn't come up. I had an idea for a long time. And I was like, let me utilize this workshop to kind of see how it would look putting it together. So I definitely do. Like I looked at it, all the information you gave, the timeline, how to compose it, the target, todo eso. And I was like, as I'm looking at it on the paper, I'm like, this is doable. It was very helpful. You know, I guess I'm becoming a little bit more of an introvert lately, so I apologize for my lack
Okay.
of
Well,
participation.
this I will we upload these videos to YouTube, but I will share the link with you all.
Mhm.
Okay, in case you want to look at it again. And I think I may just do like a downloadable ebook
Mm.
that you guys can download for the website with this workshop.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, it's very useful information, definitely. So the ebook,
Yeah, that's a
And
good idea, Angie.
and I thought all I had to do was like finish writing the book and find an agent. I mean, this is huge. I never knew about proposals. I never knew about.
yeah, there's so many steps, right? That you think I
Yeah,
could just
so
create.
memoirs and so
Nonfiction.
nonfiction books require book proposals. You need
Yeah,
to pitch it. Why is your story important? Why do people need to read about Rosita's story? As opposed to fiction and poetry, those are just, manuscript reviews that are done by the agents. But when it's
right.
nonfiction, you are required to submit a book
Mhm.
proposal.
Yeah, and some of it is intense depending on the subject matter. Like if it's a self-help book or like what me and Chef Hannah are doing, which is a cookbook, they really are intense and want a lot of details in the chapters and everything. And we do in the
Mm.
outline.
Okay,
Yep.
folks? So if you don't have any more questions, I bid you goodbye. And until next time,
Have a lovely Sunday.
enjoy
Thank
your
Thank
you.
Sunday.
you.
Bye.
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 Bye.